Are there any actually reputable media sources I can follow for accurate US politics? Read many sources. They all have some biases and/or blind spot. Draw your conclusions based on your own analysis from the raw information. I personally like Ground News as an aggregator from many news outlets. Edit. Include sources from other countries. It is helpful for keeping perspective. The most unbiased sources are considered to be AP and Reuters. Associated Press, Reuters, NewsHour on PBS. ProPublica is one I haven't seen mentioned. They have made some major discoveries including the Panama Papers. Ground News is an aggregator app that links to the various reliable sources listed here. Provides objective information about news sources' biases. And highlights blind spot articles you may not have seen because they have not been covered by outlets you frequent. I find it very interesting and useful. See https://ground.news, about. The best is Ground News. It shows you a variety of articles from left-leaning to right-leaning on a topic, as well as the differences in how that topic is being covered across the politics spectrum. It also shows you what % of the media coverage is left, center or right. I think it's the best way to find the facts. Reuters is my go-to for straight facts. NPR works hard to be straight down the middle but is perceived as leaning left. Maybe because the right doesn't like their reporting. No right spin. If you have a right-leaning friend who is skeptical of NPR, the WSJ, though it leans a bit right, hews close to the facts. I want to give a shout to Ground News. On Instagram they post stories and post information related to media bias, like contrasting headlines between left-leaning and right-leaning news sources, and also just plainly doing analysis on whether more left or right-leaning sources are posting about certain stories. Reuters. You can try a news aggregator called Ground News that pulls news from multiple sources with a disclaimer of right or left leaning. The goal is to allow the reader to see a topic covered from multiple perspectives, and it's up to the reader to decide what they feel is the truth. If you pay a subscription, it'll also let you know if your reading interests are trending to a certain perspective. Democracy Now! Is pretty dang factual. They have guests who have takes and their coverage is left-leaning, but that mostly just means they aren't hiding anything. Even in their coverage of Israel-Palestine they have a pretty even hand and not in a both sides kinda way. They just bring up a lot of relevant talking points and remind you of hypocrisies as they happen. Also, all their stuff is free on YouTube because they are publicly funded, I believe. I read Al Jazeera, Associated Press, and Reuters. I like reading foreign sources. Gives an outsider view of US politics. Financial Times from London. It's printed in a few cities in America. I get mine in Chicago on weekends. It's the only news source about US politics I trust. They don't have any political leaning regarding the United States per se, so their reporting is about as truthful as you will find. My dad told me when I was a young man, follow the money and you'll find the truth. I would add that the truth is also a lie. I like The Economist. It's not great for daily stuff, but it's really good at in-depth stuff. It's also good to understand the difference between bias and accuracy. You can be 100% accurate, but only report bad things accurately. For example, Fox News and CNN are often biased, but they are usually accurate. It's also good to learn the difference between opinion shows, like Tucker Carlson, and actual news shows like your nightly news. The formats may be similar, often to confuse, but opinion shows are just opinion. C-SPAN is probably the most reputable you can get outside of reading bills and minutes directly. I'm not seeing Democracy Now! Listed. I'd recommend that. Found myself constantly angry after watching some news channels. Had to stop. Feel so much better now. No, so you have to watch and read everything to try and work out what's going on. Pretty frustrating. NPR, AP, and Reuters are pretty good. There's also newsletters like The Morning Brew that provide a wide array of news from various sources. Also comes with puzzles.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.